Hey, welcome back. So the first question, I guess, for today is, what is Mixolydian flat 6? The clue's in the title. If you know what Mixolydian is, if you know what a sixth is, you're okay. For those of you who don't, Mixolydian means two things. Mixolydian means major, and it also means flat 7. So if we take a major scale, let's take A major. If we take the 7th note, flatten it. Now, flattening something means to lower it by a semitone. People use the words flat and sharp, flat to mean a bit too low, sharp to mean a bit too high. Oh, he's singing a bit sharp. Oh, I think she's a bit flat. But in terms of note names and note functions, flat means a semitone lower, sharp means a semitone higher. So if I take the major scale, flatten the 7th, that's the Mixolydian mode. And Mixolydian is always major. It's never minor. I feel like I need to address Mixolydian flat 6 versus aeolian dominant. So Mixolydian flat 6 is the Mixolydian scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mixolydian flat 6 is flattening the 6th, taking it down a semitone. Now what I would do in this situation, because I'm playing starting on the 5th fret, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To flatten the 6, I move it onto the 5th string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the Mixolydian flat 6 scale. So what's the difference between Mixolydian flat 6 and aeolian dominant? Semantically, they're the same. Like, as far as the words mean, they're exactly the same. Mixolydian flat 6, that's the Mixolydian scale with a flattened 6th note. Aeolian dominant. I think I'm right in saying that dominant means the same as Mixolydian. Dominant and Mixolydian mean that it's major and it has a flattened 7th. Aeolian dominant therefore means the aeolian mode, but major with a flattened 7th. Well, aeolian's already got a flattened 7th. That aside, aeolian dominant means major aeolian. Personally, I really don't like calling this scale aeolian dominant. I'm with Bobby Spellman. Look him up. He's my second favourite trumpet player. He hates calling this aeolian dominant because aeolian is in all of our minds as being minor. Aeolian mode is what we call the minor scale. In that regard, it's very confusing to use the term aeolian to describe something that has a major third. However, you might be, like several of my guitar students, somebody who finds it easiest to regard this scale as aeolian dominant. Let me show you what I mean. The aeolian mode is the minor scale, and it looks like this. I'm going with A, so A, A, aeolian. Aeolian dominant. Dominant means it's major. So I simply take the aeolian mode and make it major. So instead of going 1, 2, flat 3, I go 1, 2, 3. But then carry on up the aeolian mode. So if you know your aeolian mode better than you know your Mixolydian mode, think of this scale as being aeolian dominant, and that will help you. Just take your aeolian mode, make it major. If, however, like me, you just don't like talking about a major scale and giving it the name aeolian, stick with Mixolydian flat 6. So, Mixolydian mode, with a flat 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 8. Now I wanted to have a few words with you about, I guess the topic is, which key do you go for when you explore? I wanted to have a brief discussion with you about which key do you go for when you're exploring a new scale. And there's just this one piece of advice I want to give you. I was about to say make sure. I won't say make sure, but what I encourage you to do is go for a key where all the open strings are in the key. The open strings, A, E, D, G, B, E, are in the key of A dominant flat 6. So, 2 reasons for this. One reason is concerning single note playing, and the other one to do with chords. With regard to lead guitar playing, if I know that all my open strings are in the scale that I'm playing, then it means I can pull off to any of my open strings. For instance, in the key of E Dorian, every single open string note is in that key. So I can pull off 2 notes to the open string, which as a lead guitar player, it's nice to know that all the open strings work in this key. So this is part of the reason that I chose a Mixolydian flat 6, because all of the open strings are in this key. So in regard to whether you want to think about this scale as being Mixolydian flat 6 or aeolian dominant, personally I'd say use the name that works for you to most easily understand where the notes are. So to clarify, if you know your Mixolydian mode in A, you take that and you go, where's the 6? Let's flatten it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 8. that's the way to go. That's what I do, Mixolydian flat6. If, on the other hand, like, to be honest, many of my guitar students, they know aeolian is the minor scale. They know the minor scale better than they know Mixolydian. In which case, it's far easier for them if they go, oh, A minor, but make it major. So instead of 1, 2, flat 3, go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then just carry on with the minor scale. So on the one hand, Mixolydian flat6 is exactly the same as aeolian dominant, no difference, doesn't matter. On the other hand, it matters a lot because it affects, or it might impact on how you understand and how you remember where the notes are. I am a Voracious theory goblin and I really enjoy getting into musical theory. So I'm going to take a deep dive now. You might want to skip forward, but fortunately with key moments on YouTube now, you can skip to whichever bits you want to hear. And in that case, I'm more comfortable with going Voracious theory goblin mode. So first of all, what I want to do is talk about the step pattern. The step pattern is when you go from the root note, so we're in the key of A, is it a semitone or a tone and a half or 2 tones until the next note? And the step pattern defines what those steps are, the musical intervals between the notes. So for this scale, we start on the root, and the step pattern is tone, tone, semitone, tone, semitone, tone, tone. Personally, I guess when I first started out in guitar, it was all about box patterns and box shapes and, you know, like little diagrams that define or describe where notes are. Now I think I'm far more a fan of understanding intervallically, thinking in terms of intervals rather than in terms of box positions, and each to their own, so both have value. I certainly still do some things entirely by patterns, and on the whole I'm thinking in terms of the intervals between notes that I'm playing. So with regard to intervals, we've got 1, 2, 3. You might like to stick on the one string and go 1, 2, 3. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exactly the same as the major scale. Then we've got our flat 6, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flat 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, 8, 8, 7, flat 6. Which is exactly the same as the aeolian mode. I hate to use the word aeolian about a scale that's actually major, but it's like those 4 notes are very minor. And then we go on major. there's just one tip. I don't know whether it's a useful tip or not, to be honest, but thinking in terms of box positions, I do tend to think patterns. And there's one pattern that just has stuck in my mind. I don't know whether you'll find it helpful or whether it'll stick in your mind, but I want to share it with you anyway. So here it is. So I'm playing it now at the bottom end of the neck. Usually I get into this 12 frets higher. So on the 5th string, everything's starting from the 2nd fret. I'm not using the 6th string or the top string, so it's not a full box. On the 5th string, I've got an interval of a tone between the 2nd and 4th. On the 4th string, I've got an interval of a semitone between the 2 and the 3. Then I'm back to a tone on the 3rd string. And then on the 2nd string, I'm back to a semitone. So it's not a box by any means. However, there's something about I don't know if it's symmetry of that pattern. The 5th string a tone, 4th string semi, 3rd string tone, 2nd string semi. It's stuck in my mind and I've found it quite easy to lock into that position. I hope that's helpful, and what I really want to get on to is the easiest way I've found to think about this scale so that I can go anywhere on the guitar neck. So the topic I'm going to talk about now, which I do think is the top tip, is to consider where the semitone intervals are on any scale. So I want to start with the major scale as an example because you're more likely to know the major scale. So let's take G major as an example. Where are the semitone intervals in the G major scale or any major scale? They're between the 3 and the 4 and the 7 and the 8. Everything else is a tone interval. When I think about the major scale, I start on number 1. Well, that's not one of my semitones, so 1 to 2 is a tone. 2 to 3 is a tone. I know that 3 to 4 is a semitone. And then 4 to 5 is obviously a tone because it's not one of the 2 semitone intervals I remember. 5 to 6 is a tone because it's not one of the 2 semitone intervals I remember. 6 to 7 is a tone for the same reason. 7 to 8, that's a semitone. So let me show you how practically this works. Looking at the G major scale, I find my G on the 6th string, say. So my 7's a semitone down from that. Go to my 5th string. That's my other semitone interval. We've got 7, 8, and 3, 4. So if that's all I know, well, as in anything else is going to be a tone. So 7, 8, well, going up from 8, 1 to 2, because 8 is 1, 1's going to be a tone. And going down from 7, it's going to be a tone. So I said 3, 4, 7, 8, 3, 4. 3, next note down from a 3's going to be a 2. Next note up from a 4 is going to be a tone up to a 5. So just with that square, that little box of semitones, going up a tone and down a tone from there. We've got every note of the scale, because that's 8, 7, 6, 6, 7, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no note we haven't included in that. So rather, as an alternative to box positions, you can just regard where are the semitones and get to know where the semitones are, and then kind of extrapolate out from there. Sticking with G, just to show you a bit further on the neck. Tone down, tone up. So this is my 4 again. 7, 8, 3, 4, 3, 2, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, sorry. 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7, 6. Got another little box of 4 here. So that's my G on the 5th string at the 10th fret. I've got 8, 7. And going southward on fret 3, 4. Therefore, or and, just a tone down on either string and a tone up. Same on this string. Going up. And between those notes, that's every note of the G major scale. So an alternative to box positions is thinking in terms of where, or homing in on where are the semitone intervals in this scale. And this is exactly the same approach that I'm suggesting you take with this scale, which can really open up the neck for you. So where are the semitones? Here's the answer. 5 and flat 6. I'm going to start on the 2nd string. Okay, that's the 5 in A. Just to orient you, there's an A bar chord. I'm going to the 5th string. Now my flat 6, my 5 to a flat 6 is a semitone. That's what defines this scale in many regards. And in this scale, the semitones are only a tone apart. So I go down from my 5 to my 4. Flat 6, 5, 4. There's my other semitone, 4 to 3. So I've got 3, 4, 5, flat 5. Everything else is a tone. So when I go up, once I've identified those 4 notes, if I want to go up, it's just tone, 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 tone. And then I'm back where I was, insofar as that is the same as my bottom half of my 2 semitones. So with this scale, it's kind of Notice these two semitones that are only a tone apart, and anywhere else, just everything's a tone apart, and that's it. I think each of us, it will be different for each of us as regards how we lock into that. Like, I recognise where the fifth is and the third. All right, because I'm thinking in terms of A. We are in the key of A here. So the third and the fifth. If I'm looking at the third of A, so I know that's a third of A in regard to my open A string. Because I know that an A is I know that a because I know that a major third is 2 tones up. So 4th fret's 2 tones up from my open. Conversely, I'm more likely to know it from this. Any note that I play, a major third up is 1 string up and 1 fret down. So this is my third. So I know that my 2 semitones are 3 to 4 and then 5 to flat 6, and everything else is a tone. Until I get an octave up from where my semitones are. So I hope that helps, because for me, it's really allowed me to move around my whole neck quite freely, is to recognise that these semitones are only a tone apart from each other. And then once I get into the tones, like the tone intervals above the flat 6, from my flat 6 to my flat 7 is a tone. From my flat 7 to my root is a tone. From my root to my 2 is a tone. From my 2 to my 3 is a tone. So after my flat 6, I've got 4 steps that are all a tone before I need to be concerned about anything other than tone intervals. So for me, that was a big breakthrough, seeing that. I hope it's helpful for you. Next, I'd like to give you a bit of a tip in learning new scales. So I'm going to take this scale, okay, I'm going to start with my open A string. I've got 1, 2, 3. On my next string, I've got 4, 5, flat 6. Then on my next string, I've got flat 7 and 8. So as soon as you find a new scale, the most important thing is not learning where to put your fingers, which is what us guitarists do as a mistake. Whenever you learn a new scale, the most important thing is to get it into your musical ear, to get it so that you recognise it, that you go, oh, this is how it sounds. And what I'm suggesting is that you forget timing. It's not often that I'll say that. Forget timing and just look at making melodies. So I want to give you an example of what I mean. Right? It's not about how good or bad or well or badly I play this. It's just I'm fishing to find melodies and I'm not concerned about timing. And I'm using this scale. So this is the sort of thing I'm encouraging you to do whenever you learn a new scale. So I'm not trying to suggest that was good in any way whatsoever. What I'm trying to suggest is that by going through that kind of process of fishing for a melody, I'm not particularly concerned with time, although it is there is some sort of pulse or beat that's going on for me. What I'm doing is familiarising my ears with the sound of the scale. And that's what you need to do. Too many of us just go like, oh, that's the shape, that's the position, I'll start playing, with no idea of what each note sounds like. That's what I'm trying to express here. So last but not least, I'd like to share with you how to play this little piece of music I made up. It's what I'm using as the 100 in 100 theme tune, if you like. So I'll play it first. And then break it down and show you how to play it. So it's basically an A and a G, and if you've got D minor in your head, that will probably help. So I'm starting with an A sus2. What I'm doing is picking 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 2 again as I put on my little finger on the second string, like this. Oh, not like this, like this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 2. Now, as soon as I bring that second string into play, once I've played those 2 notes, and then I go, that's 2, 3, 4, 3, strings wise. 2, 3, 4, 3. I'm going to keep that 2, 3, 4, 3 going. So that time, still 2, 3, 4, 3, but I've now moved my little finger from the 2nd fret to the 3rd fret. And then I'm doing it again, but I've moved my right hand onto the top 3 strings. Now think of that as part A, all right? I'll do it once more really slow. I'll do it once more really slow. Here's what my right hand is doing. So my right hand's going on that latter part, ring, middle, index, middle, 3 times in a row. First time A major, second time A major sus, and 3rd time I'm moving these fingers up from strings 2, 3, 4 to strings 1, 2, 3. So that's part A. Now for part B, I keep my little finger locked where it was, where it finished at the end of part A on the 3rd fret of my 2nd string. And now what I'm going for, with my ring finger, I want to get the G on the 3rd fret of my 6th string. And I also want to get on my middle finger the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. To be honest with you, I'm kind of moving towards thinking in terms of a D minor over G for this B section. So the first bit, that's 6 4 3 4 2 3 4 3. 6 4 3 4 2 3 4 3. 6 4 3 4 2 3 4 3. Then, much like the A section, I'm going ring, middle, index, middle. Three times in a row, but first of all on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th strings, then the top 3 strings, then with my first finger pressed on the F note. So just to slowly play that for you in total. Badly played F note there, but we'll forgive him, maybe. So that's A and B. Then we repeat the A section. So it's A, B, A, C. So the C section is simply a G major 9. So I'm pressing down the G on the 6th string at the 3rd fret, and my 9 is on the 3rd string at the 2nd fret. I'm plucking 6, 4, 3 and 2 strings, but I'm going 6, 4, 3, 2. No, I'm not. I'm going 6, 4, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2. And that's it. You may or may not know it as the 100 and 100 theme tune. I know it as a song or a piece of music called Moonrise. So there's other parts to it. It's as a backing track on my website that you can play along with if you're interested in exploring this scale further. Do come and join me on Patreon and on my website. That's it for today's video. It was a deep dive. I hope you found it useful. All the best and hope to see you tomorrow.